Tide Talker Whip is back. Well, didn't make it. I always said, if we didn't make it, it's because we played our way out of it. You can't lose to Vandy, and you can't lose to Oklahoma, especially Oklahoma at the end. If we don't lose to Oklahoma, we're not having this conversation. It sucks, and I'm fine with it because of the way it played out. But for God's sake, can somebody explain to me, and I'm not even making this video, if Ole Miss gets in, if South Carolina gets in, Miami gets in, and of course Alabama, any of those teams over Alabama gets in, I'm not even upset. Not even upset. But you look at SMU, you lost your conference championship, and you're in the playoffs. Well, that's a shot across the bow to college football that strength of schedule doesn't mean shit. It means absolutely nothing. And I know that our losses are to unranked teams, but who did SMU beat? Like anybody worth a damn they played, they lost to, and you played a bunch of bums. I mean, if I'm an athletic director in the Big Ten or the SEC, I'm literally next year I'm buying out any decent team that's out of conference to play, and I'm scheduling Coastal Carolina, Citadel, and probably Mercer. Like there is no reason to play anybody worth the crap because you could get somebody hurt. You have a chance to lose. Like, at this point, what's the point? And the wins and just the strength of schedule alone that, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Alabama have far exceed. Because, SMU's not even top 60 in strength of schedule. So why are we even having this conversation? Like, I'm not even upset if you put Miami in. Like, not even close. I'm like, that's totally fine. Put South Carolina in, I'm not even upset. Put Ole Miss in, I'm not upset. I mean, the only teams that even Clemson played that worth a damn they lost to, like, what are we doing? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, if I'm an SEC athletic director or Big Ten, I'm not doing it. I'm literally going to pay out every team that's worth a crap out of conference next year. And I'm playing the lowest Division I teams I can find, like Wyoming, Nevada, New Mexico State, maybe just throwing the Vandals, Idaho Vandals in there, Coastal Carolina, the Citadel, just whoever, Purdue. There's no reason to play anybody worth anything outside of conference. And it's proven. And something they're going to have to figure out is, like, I'm okay. You know what? I'm not okay with automatic bids. I think it's ridiculous. I think when you let's break this down. Okay, look, we know who won automatic bids yesterday. Everybody watched college football yesterday. I'm not even breaking that down. First round of the playoffs, you've got Texas and Clemson. What a joke. I mean, Texas obviously is not everything they thought they would be because they lost to Georgia twice in the same year. But they're still a powerhouse team. They're playing a bum in Clemson, and I'm predicting that score to be 45-14. The game that's worth anything is Tennessee versus Ohio State. I think that game is close. I think it's 24-17 Tennessee. Penn State's playing SMU. Give me a break. It's going to be 40-10. That's his final score, Penn State. It's a joke they're even in the conversation. They lost. They're not an automatic bid. Their ass should be out, period. I'm sorry. Notre Dame plays Indiana. Indiana's good, and they can score some points, and hats off to them for the season they had. But even their strength of schedule, they played a bunch of bums. And then anybody that played decent, they got blown out. I think Notre Dame always plays down to competition, but I think Notre Dame beats them 28-21. That's another thing I don't understand. How can Notre Dame not be in a conference, not play anybody, and they just get in like, oh, it's cool, no problem. They lost to a Division II team in NIU. Okay, someone explain that one. So that's the prime example. Why to play nobody, now to play nobody out of conference, and don't play in a conference championship and you get in. That's prime example. The problem I have is you've got these automatic bids. You've got Arizona State. They were number 15 or 16. I know that for a fact. They were in those two ranges in where they placed. And they get an automatic bid and a first-round bye? You're a joke. Arizona State, you couldn't even get close to beating Miami, South Carolina, Alabama, or Ole Miss. Like, are you kidding me? Oregon, they deserve it. They're undefeated. Hey, all hats to them. They deserve it. Georgia, they won their conference championship, so I get that. Okay. But they're top 10. Boise State, you got a first-round bye, and you played the Little Sisters of the Deaf and Blind all year? Like, really? Everybody's making a big deal out of Austin Genty. Like, he's good. He's not even the best back in the country. It's Dylan Sampson at Tennessee. And I'm not a Tennessee fan, and I'm telling you that. You put Genty at Tennessee, he's got maybe half the yards he's got, maybe. You're talking about a guy that plays in a bum conference, a bunch of against nothing but bums, and he's get 40-plus carries a game. Like, really? Oh, my God. Like, this is where the College Football Playoff Committee needs to get their shit together. Like, you need to figure out, does strength of schedule matter or does it not? And I get it. We had an unranked loss at the end. I get you. But strength of schedule obviously doesn't make a damn. You got Arizona State in there and Boise State getting first-round buys. And, yeah, you're like, well, they're conference champions. Well, the automatic bid in the conference championship is garbage. And this right here is why. And this is why the first round of the playoffs is the biggest joke I think I've ever seen in college football. I'm not even watching these other games. There's no reason to watch any of these other games because they're such a joke. The only one that's worth watching is Tennessee and Ohio State. All the other ones are a joke. Clemson, and you'll find out, Clemson will get skull drug. SMU won't even be in the game in the second quarter. And Indiana, you might as well pack your bags and go home. Like, this is absolutely a joke. And I'll eat my words. If SMU wins, I'll eat my words. They're not going to win. SMU is by far the biggest joke in college football. If you didn't want to put Bama in, totally fine. You put South Carolina in, I'm cool with it. You put Miami in there, totally cool with it. You put Ole Miss in there, I'm totally fine with it. But this junk is a joke, and you will see it first round of the playoffs. It's an absolute joke. They need to rework the metrics. No automatic bids just because you get a conference championship. And you're seeing it with Boise State and Arizona State. That's absolutely the two biggest laughing stocks in college football. And you let SMU in, who didn't even win their conference championship, and everybody they played that was halfway decent, maybe in the top 25 or 15, they lost. So that makes no sense. And I get it. They're not trying to be controversial, show favoritism. Do you want the 12 best teams or not? Because what we have this first year of the 12-team playoffs is not the top 12 teams. It's not. You know, you got a bum, you got two bums in the first round, three bums in the first round, and then two bums with buys. Like, this is the biggest joke in college football. You know what? You would better off leave it top four because this is an absolute joke. And you're going to see it in these college football. It's going to be the most pathetic showing we've ever seen. Now, let's get on to the better news. Alabama is going to play in the Larinqua, I can't even say it, Bowl. We're 9-3, and we're playing in Michigan, who's 7-5, which I think is a cool matchup because when you've got Alabama and you've got Michigan, they travel well. We're going to pack out a stadium. So that bowl game is all about money. It's all about a matchup, and it's all about money. I don't understand why we didn't play somebody a little bit better ranked or closer. Like, even if we played a South Carolina or Ole Miss or even a Miami, that seems like a better matchup to me. Not saying that Michigan won't play a good game and all that, but, I mean, that bowl committee was literally like, who can we get that we can pack out fans in the stands? And that was it. You know, Miami doesn't travel well. South Carolina doesn't travel well. I get that, whatever. But it's very interesting that those two are together. It'd be kind of a cool game. It'd be a fun game to watch. You know, I'm sure Milroe's not going to play. And we're going to have Ty Simpson or Austin Mack or whoever's going to play there. So that will be fun to see on that side of the spectrum. I did see today, too, that Caleb Odom is deciding to jump in the transfer portal. I'm not really happy about that at all. I think he's got amazing talent. He's a huge body guy. I think our offensive coordinator kind of wasted his talent this year. And now going into the offseason, I think especially the night when the portal opens, Bama needs to go get an offensive tackle or two. We definitely need a defensive back, one or two, and absolutely need to get one or two linebackers, period. Now, in the past, DeBoer's been great portaling. But he needs to get in there this year and portal. Get that taken care of. We absolutely need a different offensive coordinator. We do not need to go into next season with Nick Sheridan, period. We absolutely need to go and get a wide receivers coach. We do that, I think we slide into next year pretty good. And that's all I got. Tide Talk Web is out.